all the business on Beacon Hill this week, one bill made national headlines, a bill to ban the B word. While not everyone in the media took the measure at face value, was it really worthy of attention? Some stories are just too good to pass up.
One lawmaker has filed a bill that would make it illegal to call someone the B word.
The Beacon Hill proposal would make that bleepable word finable.
That proposal to ban the B word quickly went viral, even national media picking it up. It also brought unwanted attention to the bill's sponsor, Representative Dan Hunt, who clarified he filed the bill at the request of a constituent. In fact, the Massachusetts Constitution is unique in allowing residents to directly petition the legislature, so it's common to see kooky bills on Beacon Hill. And Representative Hunt says he isn't necessarily backing the bill.
He understands it is unlikely to get through the state legislature, but he brought it to him anyway.
But even if criminalizing the B word isn't being taken seriously, that didn't stop newsrooms from asking the public to think about it seriously.
I think it's really crazy.
I think it's ridiculous. It's just a word.
So far, more than 2,000 people have voted, and 97% say no.
Okay, can we move on to some real news now? There's a couple other. I'm going to petition for a couple of other words, I think. So John, did BC News do it?
I don't know.
We couldn't find it if they did it. I heard it on the radio, but that's not.
Look, I hope not.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. One of the saddest outcomes of all this is there's some guy named Dan Hunt on Twitter, not the rep, who was besieged with vile mentions and so forth. That's why you should never read your Twitter mentions. But look, there is a problem with all media, print and broadcast, slurping from the sewage trough of viral clickbait.
Ghost stories.
Yeah, and inevitably you're going to wind up ingesting a lot of toxins.
Yeah, or like that story that Judge Zucker one time tried to get me to do, and actually I ended up doing, where it was taking a small town that wanted to turn sewer water into drinkable water, and I said, this isn't going anywhere. He said, yeah, but everybody will be talking about this around the water cooler. And that happens in newsrooms, whether it's clickbait or whether it's back in the day of people just watching.
And those stories sell. I don't want to sound like some ivory tower academic here. In the media, we're all about stories that people will find interesting.
And
but there's got to be some standards.
You know, I bookmarked this for a possible muzzle award, and then I said, who do we give the muzzle to? It's just some random citizen.
Right.
I mean, there is a story that could have been done about this, and that is the wacky bills that get filed every year because citizens have the right to do it. That would have been the way to report this. It would have been just as entertaining, and it would have put it in the proper context.
Good point.
Yeah.
There's another opportunity, and that's to also talk a little bit about the Constitution and how it works. And I noticed one of the stories that we were looking at was the Boston Globe story. They really overlooked the possibility, I considered the importance of discussing a little bit about what it is that makes the use of a word illegal. What is verbal assault? Things like this that you can really talk about legally, and very few publications really talked about what the difference is. You know, coming up with a list of 100 words you hate.
Yeah, and with regard to that particular word, that vulgarity,
it's a legal word. It's not about using the right context.
I prefer the way the late Barbara Bush handled it back when Geraldine Ferraro was the vice presidential nominee running against her husband. She referred to her in an indiscreet moment as a word that rhymes with witch. Those were the days when...
But it's also a legal term for a female dog, so it's like, how can you ban something that's illegal?
You can't, and you shouldn't.
If you ever go to a dog show, she'd be in shock, I guess.
Right.